DSR here with another quick update for my fall of Cybertron Optimus Prime. This time I actually bothered to set up a background and some lighting, so hopefully this video will come out a lot better than the other one. I just wanted to go over a couple things that I might have missed or didn't comment on with the figure. First of all, I forgot to mention that this is on a ball joint, his hip, so he does have hip swivel, or waist swivel, I guess, and it does not peg in anywhere in here. It just kind of sets down, so you can twist, turn, whatever, although it's not very, it's sturdy enough, but, you know, and you're not going to actually touch them and knock them over or anything, so the ball joint is really tight in there, which is good. But, you know, some people might have preferred to have it actually peg in there. Something else I forgot about is in the vehicle mode transformation, excuse me, there's this tab back here on the inside of the heel, and I'll show that a little bit later when I transform him into vehicle mode, how that pegs in actually into these holes and makes it a lot more sturdy. Also kind of cool, I didn't notice until a little while ago, is back here, it looks like he has molded in some tires, it looks like, in the molding, kind of like War for Cybertron Optimus Prime. Actually in his back molding here, so that's kind of cool. Also, yeah, I have his exhaust pipes up, but you can flip them back, and since I'm stupid and forgot completely in the video last night, I was thinking of the Ultra Magnus repaint, if you actually watched that video, how awful it is. And I figure for the Ultra Magnus repaint, you might want to leave these up, because it's the same mold pretty much, except for redecoed into Ultra Magnus, and his weapon is a big hunkin' sword, which might actually be a really cool accessory, considering how cool this one was, and I had like zero hopes for this going into it right off the bat, and I actually love the weapon, so there's that. And see, I think that's about it to cover on robot mode, aside from the 5mm ports on both of his legs, both of his arms, and then the one in the back. So he does have a lot of options. I don't think these holes fit 5mm. It doesn't look like it. But so, you know, he's got at least 5 spots, not including his hands, where you can peg in some extra weapons, which could actually be really cool if you want to customize them. Like I kind of have my War for Cybertron Optimus Prime back here with the big Energon cannon on his shoulder and 2 of the Prime swords, and then his machine gun back here, or I've also had him displayed with this blaster here. One thing I did want to mention, though, aside from the obvious height difference between Optimus and then Optimus and Megatron, which you can see, it's hard to see from the angle the camera is, but yeah, there is a good distance, at least a head and a half. It's really hard to see like that because of the angle my camera is sitting right now, but he is at least, you know, a head and a half sitting right here. In reality, the top of his head is actually hitting about right here on Megatron's chest, and like I said before, I do have him posed in a kind of pelvic thrust sort of thing. But alright, I'm gonna cut to vehicle mode for all 3 of these guys now. So hold on a second. And here we are back with all 3 of them in vehicle mode here. I'm just gonna go ahead and show off these 2 first. So you can see he's a little bit shorter in vehicle mode, and I don't have him transformed perfectly. The wheels aren't quite matched up, and he can be kind of a pain to transform, but I love his robot mode enough to keep him around. But for some reason on mine, this wheel doesn't seem to want to turn. I don't know if it's because it's not touching all the way, and if you press it down it rolls fine, but otherwise it just kind of catches every once in a while, as you can see. But the other one seems to be okay, so I'm not sure if maybe I have it not tabbed in all the way or what's going on with it, but yeah, other than that, it rolls pretty good. You know, it's fun to drive around, whatever. And I do like that his weapon pegs in back here, like War for Cybertron's did. I almost like this one better just because it actually looks more like it belongs there. Sort of. I wish this was filled out a little bit more for the vehicle mode anyway. But it's forgivable with how great it is in robot mode with almost any figure. But what I do like about his vehicle mode is the 5mm ports again. He's got, one on both sides of his legs, and then the undersides of the feet too, so you can store weapons back here, or accessories, or whatever. That's really cool. I really like that. He's a lot shorter, and a good bit shorter, lengthwise as well, and you can see that in the height. Bigger gun, but I guess he's compensating. He does look, he's a little bit wider, actually, than Morphin Cybertron is. Just by a tad bit. Oh, maybe not. It's mostly just his arms up here that are wider. Just a tad bit, but other than that, he's definitely a lot smaller in vehicle mode. And then compared to Megatron here, not nearly as bad size-wise, just because Megatron is really supposed to be bulky and huge, and so that's not that big of a deal with him. I do kind of like them like that. Whoops, sorry. This kind of makes more sense because Megatron is pretty big, but I do like them in scale better, and he's just a little kind of puny in vehicle mode. He's really tiny. I have kind of small hands, and he's definitely a smaller figure, but he's still really nice. I wouldn't probably have paid $15 for him a second time. That was quite a bit for a figure this small, and I hate to keep calling it small and everything, but it really is. It is downsized. It's not arguable that it is downsized, and it's not quite like Scout class sized, but I can definitely see, like, I have Revenge of the Fallen Scouts. I have a couple of them. I have these two, the two bikes. You can see in vehicle mode, it's not really fair comparison because it's a bike and he's really big, but it not much bigger lengthwise or height-wise or anything. And he's not really comparable because he's a movie line figure, but you get my idea. I mean, he's not a Scout size, but he looks like he could scale in with Scout size figures as himself scaled in at that scale rather than a deluxe or a Voyager in comparison to scale anyway. But so he's not too small. He's not as small as people make him up to be, but he's also not much bigger than people want to think he is. He is definitely small, but besides the point, he is a really cool figure. I really like the head sculpt. You can see it in there. And actually, I almost wonder, well, it would look kind of dorky like that, but I guess if you really wanted to, you could flip up the hood on the cab here and have another port, if you really wanted to deck them out in a bunch of stuff. But anyway, other than that, I should probably wrap it up here. That's my quick look at Fall of Cybertron Optimus Prime.